continue your problem, which you always think is more important than the other problem. Now, when you come to this level, love God or God's sake, you begin to feel a certain level of godliness. Then our interest becomes secondary. Our love for others is more important. Begin to develop, and our interest in them become more sincere. We get more, and you find that they are not so picky about place to eat, not so picky about friends to choose, because those things are not important. They just want to do friends, want to reach out to more people. And in our marriages, when it comes to this level, love God for God's sake, it becomes marriages mature from someone to become how to spend, let's say me. Before that, I was saying, how am I going to spend my time with her, my wife? So we began more. Rather than, how am I going to spend our time together? Not for her, not for me, but together to do things together. That is in the form of our own personal marriages. And if you look at the earlier two stages, if we continue to be selfish, it's very difficult for us to come to stage 3. And at this level, we will realize, we will begin to realize that level 3, the importance of giving and the love of giving. We find that we begin to give more, we give contributions, love for one another, time for one another, consideration for one another. You begin to start being more generous. Last time before you give, you will always, and level 2 before you give, you will always want to think, what am I going to get? But now, level 3, not important. I continue to share. I continue to make time for maybe one of the brethren, one of the sister. Or doesn't matter, I think she say to me, or he say to me, this is like I give him time to express, to share. Then you come to this stage, it's no longer I help you so that you help me. But it's not important anymore. This is what God also wants us to do, that to reach out, to give our love and our time to our fellow brothers. Not to ask them to give the time or to give equal portion. I give you so much, you must give me so much. I call you so many times, after a few times you don't call me, I come for you, useless. No more. It's just continue to call you, I continue to call her, I continue to bring him out for tea, I continue to bring him out for maybe lunch, dinner. I continue to visit, I will continue to visit him or her, regardless of whether he or she will do the same to me or the same to me. And this is a level of maturity which we will develop. Now, by doing so, you will realize and you will find out that you are actually creating happiness, true happiness in the sense that because you never expect anything, just continue to give. And it's here that we begin to lose grip, very slowly. And it's at this stage we begin to lose grip on our wallet first. That is not important. Our schedule, never mind. My schedule is not important. If I say I want to see Sister Ipoh, I will see Sister Ipoh, doing something else is good. It's not important. It is our fear, our feeling for the other party. Oh, I don't complain. Never mind, I will go here. Then, perhaps, then people see beyond the 3-dimensional view of the world. We are actually seeing the 3-dimensional. What we mean is 3-dimensional view of the world is fun, fact, then we go beyond. Beyond means we go and see into a person's personality, greatness and strength beyond that. And what develop this, then we begin to see people as eternal beings created by God. And each and every one of us, they are creation. They are God's creation. And no longer friends or enemy people just that. They begin to appreciate, see is a different perspective. Rather than a lot of us tend to see people by face only. As if anything more, I want to go into his private life. Yeah, it's obviously. But sometimes if they want to share their private lives with us, why not? Partake in it, get involved in it, listen, see what we can help them as fellow Christians, or fully literally, can we help to carry the cross? We also have our own respective cross to carry. But we also will try to help to carry the crosses of our fellow brothers and sisters. And we're coming to the end of the sermon. So we're going on level 4. Level 4 is very simple. Now it's back to self. The love self, but not for your sake, not for God's sake, not for what, right? But for God's sake. So you see the maturity within us as we walk. So each time when I explain this 3 level, including the last one, brothers and sisters, take stock of yourself and really examine yourself, see which level are you in, and maybe make some adjustment, change a bit, where we do scriptures, and see what is actually trying to tell us. And you have noticed that I never say refer to any verses or what, but it's actually these few verses are actually something which touch on a bit of human psychology and all that. But these are things which we does not realize until it's brought here. And just to say that this whole book was written on this, and obviously 2 pages is not enough. But I'm making it very simple layman's terms so that we, including myself, will also learn from it and see in what way can I be a better Christian and act the way God wants me to act, so that I can also continue to be an example as a children of God. Okay, let's come back to 4th grade. So I can see a lot of relief now. Everybody, during sermon, and to conclude, everybody suddenly become very. So this is so. So anyhow, the 4th degree of love is to love self for God's sake. Now, these people are not so. There are not many of such kind of people among us, including myself. But then again, it's very easy to spot this kind of people. It's very easy to pick them up from the crowd. They are not, maybe not always in places of worship. They're not talking about church or whatsoever. And I don't know why they're right here. They're also not always in the pulpit. That's not apply to me. So anyhow, you see them maybe at the gym, they're going to look up, but they never look at the mirror. They don't do that. They look, the people who go to the gym seem that they're smart. But these people, some kind of people who love self for God's sake, they just want to keep the body fit. Because our body is the temple of our soul. It's our duty to have a healthy body and a healthy mind. And perhaps you see them drinking wine, but you see them get drunk. They may eat, but they're very moderate. They eat very moderately. They don't overindulge, in other words. And these are one who has reached a level that allows them to love themselves, they love life, and they love others to the fullest. They really love and compassion, as God always said, love thy neighbor as thyself. They are really immersed in a conversation. They don't speak to some people and then their mind is focused on them. When you speak to them, they are listening. Okay? And they realize that if Jesus Christ died for them, it must be really important. Have you ever realized Jesus Christ come to die die for our sin? Gave up his life for us. Are we actually, all of us, are we not as important as Christ? If you die for them, we must be significantly important to Christ for him to die for us. And usually people that never